Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to announce Pokemon Sun and Moon. Their release date, 18th of November 2016. Good Lord, we are in the presence of greatness. Now then, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, I was planning to do a live reaction, but with Nintendo how they are, I was like, no, let's just stay away. Stay away from that. So, the starters. Well, first, the start is Rowlet, the grass flying. Of course, we don't know pretty much about them besides their design and typing. But the typing, the duo typing for Rowlet has been revealed by, obviously, its baby evolution state, which is fair enough. And the design, not bad. Litten, I can see being a fire dark when because it looks more when it gets to the second evolution stage. And Popplio, I think, will be the first water ice starter, which will be amazing. I have been waiting for something like that for ages, because it's Spheal. It's basically Spheal, but it looks like a bloody circus Pokemon. Which, well, one of the you know what I'm on about, where they dress up the seals and then they just put on that act. That's what I believe that Pokemon to be. Now, the designs, I will not lie. In terms of design, the ones that... Well, actually, let me just go with the ones that I think is the most ballsy. Popplio is the most ballsy. The one that is second is Rowlet, and then the third one is Litten. Litten, it's kind of like a plain design, but I'm not expecting anything extravagant. But the only one that really jumps out at me for the most part is Popplio. And to be perfectly honest, I plan on getting a fire starter. But in my personal hope, this was my downfall in a way. I actually hoped that we would get some form of a wolf-type Pokemon in the form of the starter. The reason why it was my fault was because it was like, you know, those poker fakes. I know the YouTuber that did the video, but I forget his name. Let me find him a minute. I know it begins with a P. I hope it begins with a P. See. I am not prepared. I've gone past it, maybe. Oh, wait, no. Where? I do not know where he is. Oh, well, I'll link the video, maybe, if I can be bothered. But yeah, I can see Litten and Popplio getting a dual typing by the time they reach their second or their third evolution, because as far as I'm aware, Froakie got his dual typing when he became a Greninja. I could be wrong on that, but I know Fennekin got its dual typing when it became its second one. I don't remember the names off the top of my head for the 6th generation. But, yeah. These starters, yeah, I like them. Their designs, I'll get used to. It was the same with every Pokemon, but I'm never iffy. That's the thing. I'm never iffy. I have faith. Yes, some look a little bit weird, but when you like take a step back, you're just like, oh, fair enough. So, hold on. Where's the thing? Right. I'm watching the video myself just to get a bit of a reminder, but I'm not actually showing anything. The trainer looks familiar to the 6th generation trainer. That's the thing. Is it going to be like X and no? Is it going to be like what Pokemon Black and White 2 was? Well, is it going to go in that format, but it's going to be a 2-year gap as the same person? If that's the case, that would be intriguing. Like, we start off in Unova, and then we head out to the next region, essentially acting like Ash, just not taking our starters with us. Yeah. I think customization has returned, but the layout of how the people speak is done in, that seems kind of oxymoronic in a way, but it's done in a more pure RPG sense, and the graphical improvements compared to the last game is amazing, and from the looks of it, we might be set in Hawaii. The way people were going on about. Some people had doubts, but from the scenery and the way I'm assuming the professor is dressed, it just seems too it would seem too weird for it not to be set in Hawaii. That's the thing, because, like, you know, the war, some people were assuming that it would be based in Germany, and the guy that is a part of the company, well, not the company, the leader of this team, went to Germany after he went to France. Because some people will use that as evidence in their theory videos for the location. But the ironic thing is the first thing that we thought of. Now, obviously that isn't confirmed, but I'm just going around from the scenery, the palm trees, everyone's attire, and so on and so forth. Now, the legendaries. The legendaries themselves look amazing. The tiger... how should I say this? I don't really know a set thing when it comes to me. Yes, I go for the legendaries, but they both look so good. I've never gotten... Well, up until Black and White, I've never really got both games. I've normally ever got the one. And I've always went for the legendary that piqued my interest. Like, for example, Kyogre, leaned more towards me than Groudon did, but I did like Groudon. It was just, now I'm torn between which one to start playing, which is rare. Yes, I know you shouldn't really base it upon the legendaries, but when the story is kind of revolved around them in a way, yeah, you just wanna go for that one, even if it is a brief change. So, I lefty bloody graphical changes. There's a big improvement that cannot be denied, and I think they're going to utilize more cutscenes than when they did in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire pushed more toward the cutscenes than they did in X and Y. X and Y was the beta version of it, as I like to call. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was them getting into their roots, shall we say. And I think Sun and Moon is where we're going to get a lot more cutscenes. I don't think it's going to be cutscene orientated, because that would be kind of... not really a letdown, but that's more fitting for something that would be on, currently Wii U, but we all know that's not being produced anymore, but currently Wii U, that would be more fitting for that. And I know this is weird, but when you pan to the section where the protagonist is running straight down a road, and you see the guy standing in front of the car, he looks awesome! He's probably just a randomer. No, he is a randomer. But he looks so well designed, as does the car. And the resolution on the background, it's stunning. Pokemon has been graphically improved greatly in a short time. And, yeah, it's just... I have no words. And this is probably a night sequence. But I think that there's a storm coming in a way. And I think the guy that you meet, the guy with yellow shorts, the dark-skinned guy, I think that he's the rival of the games. And it's kind of... I was hoping for more rivals. I know some people... disliked how X and Y was done, but I suppose, how should I put this? Ruby Sapphire and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did something right when it came down to the rivals. Now, of course, I know a lot of people consider Wally to be more of a rival. I myself am in that category, but May was also a nice fit as well to be a rival because I always had the tough memories with her, more notably when you're going to Moss Deep City. That battle was a ball ache when I was young. Easy now. I think it's because I was too idiotic at the time, but I just can't believe such a thing. Prideful, I know. But I do hope we get one more rival. I do want one more rival, and yeah, I hope it's done how Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did it. Well, and Ruby and Sapphire, where the sex that you choose is the opposite of your rival. So if you chose Brendan as the protagonist, you would obviously get May, and if you chose May as the protagonist, you would obviously get Brendan. So I hope it's something along the lines and we get the Wally character. Now, of course, like I'm using that as an example because that is what I hope. What are my wishes for the game itself? The stories themselves get improving over the years. To me, my favourite story will always be Black and White because they did something unlike any other. I don't know what it was, but it was like they stepped out of the Pokemon barrier and actually did something mature in a way without actually being openly mature. And that sense, for me personally, is carried out even to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when I wasn't really expecting much, but it was more along the lines of the philosophy than anything else. What do I think the story is going to be about? I don't know. Is it going to be in relation to Tsukiyomi and his wife? I wouldn't mind the relation. I don't know the correct phrase, but the relation, shall we say, to it. But yeah, I just hope that the game is harder and longer because there's always that nick in the game where you just zoom through it. And all that. And I hope that Lysander makes some form of return in one form, because I don't think he's dead. He could be dead. Well, I hope that it's confirmed whether he's dead or alive or not, but I hope what's her name? Malavai? The Elite Four member of X and Y. I don't remember her name. The former Team Flare member. But, yeah. As a joking thing, I think, obviously the teams... Maybe we'll get different teams this time. I would like that. But, whatever whether it's one or two, like, obviously they'll want something to do with the sun or the moon. Go figure. So, yeah. I'll leave it off here. I will... Well, I don't really know what to do with it when it comes down in terms of Pokemon, but I just wanted to make this since, So, yeah. November 18th is the release date. Let me just double check that so I don't look like a fool. Available November 18th, yes. It doesn't say worldwide, but I'm assuming that it's worldwide. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.